Google Pixel Fold, one of the coolest phones I've ever held in my hands, and I don't like it. Hello everyone, Clint here. I hope everybody is doing great today. Today I wanted to make a quick video about the Google Pixel Fold. I hadn't planned on making a video on this because like my intro says, I actually don't like the phone that much and I'm sending it back. In fact, I don't even have it turned on. I've already reset it and getting it ready to go back to Google. But you know, I thought I'd just throw out a few things there for my Galaxy Z Fold users, kind of see why one of the coolest phones I have ever seen is just not something I can use every day. So I'm just going to go ahead and start out with the first thing. First thing I want to say, hey, this is a fantastic phone. The thinness of it, the build quality of this phone is absolutely fantastic. The cameras are great. The thinness is great. It's really great. I was so excited to get this when I first saw it come out because of this front screen right here. I was really excited to get a usable front screen. I think that's what a lot of people are drawn to this particular phone for. But because of that, yeah, it opens in landscape, right? So you got a landscape opening phone, and that is where the problems start for me. Now, I would like to say that I've been using a Z Fold since the 2, so I'm on my 4th year, getting ready, get to finish up my 4th year with the Fold, and I admittedly am used to the portrait way of opening a phone. Now, I like different tech all the time, and so I wasn't too worried about that. I can usually break any kind of habit I have because, you know, I use different watches all the time. I got different phones in the house, so I wasn't too worried about that. Except usability on this, I found that probably 90% of the stuff I do on my Fold is in portrait mode. So I'm either scrolling websites, scrolling documents, writing notes. I was just really surprised at how often I use landscape. So even though this phone opens this way, I ended up just moving it portrait all the time. Reading books, I prefer it this direction. Scrolling websites, scrolling Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I just prefer in portrait mode. Now, with that being said, this phone is also heavy, and so when you have it in landscape mode like this, I'm a one-hand scroller, so it's really hard to get across the screen to scroll, and it's heavy. So when you're holding it like this wants to pull down out of your hand, whether you're right hand or left hand, because it's heavy. So you have to like kind of manipulate finger gymnastics yourself to get that set up in there. And man, that was really bothering me. I couldn't believe it how difficult that was for me to use it that way. And what I mean difficult, it was just not smooth. It wasn't natural. It wasn't I can just pull my phone out and go. And that was kind of a bummer. So it is a really heavy phone, but the way they have it built, it's not too bad at all, especially when it's folded. It is fantastic. I mean, just look at that thing. It's absolutely beautiful, beautiful phone. The other main reason is software. So Google has their normal Google Pixel software on here, and which it works great. It just doesn't have the same enhancements that Samsung has. I mean, simple things like the swipe out from the side here to get this little drawer here is something that I can't believe how often I use that. I kept reaching up for it, and I know I did actually find an app and download an app. It's called Edge something. I can't remember what it's called, just to try to mimic that. Unfortunately, it only goes on one side of the edge, which is the opposite side of the way I hold my phone. I'm a left-hand holder. So that was kind of a bummer. The split screen action too, a couple things that I really noticed right away that I instantly missed is the pop-out view. So I use the pop-out view for multitasking all the time. One of the big main ones right here is definitely the calendar. I use this calculator, sorry. I use a pop-out calculator all the time. And I really like the ability just to kind of put it over there. I have my 2 apps open. I can pull my calculator out, do my thing, put it back where it needs to go. I surprisingly use this more than I guess I didn't even think about how much I was using it until I didn't have it anymore. I really don't use the 3, the ability for 3 different apps to be split screen on here. I didn't really I don't really use that, but I do use 2 apps plus that pop-out screen all the time, all the time. The other thing that I noticed I missed a lot is the app pairs. And this is definitely something Google needs to do naturally in Android. And I use an app pair all the time where I just hit the button and both my apps. This is something I look up almost every single day. I'll pull that section up. I have 2 or 3 of them that I pull up all the time, every day. And the way split screen works on Google, it's a little bit convoluted. So it just took a little extra time, and so I really like the multitasking on the Fold. The other thing that I noticed I missed was the S Pen. I actually don't have my S Pen in front of me, but to be able to open up Samsung Notes, write a bunch of stuff, and then I would pop out that calculator, like I said, and pop out the calculator and do some math, write some more notes, do some more math, write some more notes. I guess I just naturally do that, and that's just a tool that I use all the time, and I got really used to it. This feels a lot better in my hand. I can use this one-handed, no problem. I can scroll around. I can do pretty much whatever I want to. And so I just like the way this one feels better, and just use, because I use the heck out of these in my business and work and personal life. And so phone is definitely a tool for me. And I still think that the Fold is probably, a folding phone in general is just a great use scenario. I don't much like the front screen. I do use it often for certain things. Usually just throw a text out there. I use it for my home app, for all my remote control stuff for my house. So I gotten used to this, but I like the Fold so much that I open this almost instantly. So it comes out of my hand and I'm usually opening it right away because I just really like it, the way I can type on it, the way everything looks. So I'm really used to that. The other software tweak is software like Instagram, Twitter, those kinds of things. Samsung has set it up to where they go full screen, while Google just makes them just kind of go right in the middle of the screen or off to the side. Google hasn't implemented anything to force those apps to full screen, which is cool. But you basically might as well just use those apps on the front screen, and this front screen is plenty good enough to use those apps. Don't get me wrong, but I do like the ability to just pop those open the way I want to. So that's another software thing that I really like. And another one I was really surprised is the home screen. So on the Pixel Fold, whatever your home screen is on the front screen, that's going to be your home screen on the inner screen. So you can't have a different home screen on the front, and you can't compare it to the inside. And that's a little bit of a shame, because this inside screen is just dying to be customized for however you want. And the widgets, everything else, you just want to have it a little bit different. I mean, you just want it different, and they don't give you that option to have it differently, which is a little strange to me, which I didn't like. The other thing, Good Lock is a huge app that I use on my Samsung all the time. As you can tell, I have all my icons skinned. I really like the ability to be able to do that. One hand navigation is something I just use all the time, whether I need to use them quick toggles or bring down my app search page, or open up whatever's all in here, which is a ton of stuff running. I use that all the time. And believe it or not, one of the things that I use all the time is Bixby. So I use a lot of Bixby routines every day, and there's just nothing in just the Google ecosystem, believe it or not, that works better than Bixby routines, or I got some Google routines. It's just not the same, and not the same stuff you can do with Bixby. So that was just some of the things that I noticed right away that I missed. And I used this phone for a solid week as my primary phone. I took the SIM out of there and dropped it in here. I really was wanting to use this phone. It is really attractive. It's pretty peppy as far as speed goes. I didn't really notice any speed issues, scroll issues. I was a victim of the heat issue. This thing definitely has a serious heat issue, just normal day-to-day use. It gets warm right here after a little while, actually, not very long at all. And I did have the outside, take it outside in warm weather, and it dims the screen. Just all in all, doesn't like any kind of heat, which is the phone with such a flippin' amazing camera on it. You're gonna want to take this outside. So that did happen to me several times. I mean, I found some good cases for it too. Cases fit better on here. It just really worked a lot. It just works really good. It's a great phone. But again, I'm not going to be able to use that. It is going to go back to Google tomorrow. The Z Fold went right back into my pocket pretty quickly, actually. This one will get traded in for the Z Fold 5, so we'll get some cool videos on that. I always have a folding phone in my pocket. I'm really excited for a little bit more competition for Samsung. They've definitely been resting on their laurels. I just saw an Honor phone that came out today that absolutely fantastic. I think kind of maybe a mix between this, maybe this one a little bit wider would be fine, but I still want that portrait mode. It's just easier for me to use. And if I want to go to pixel mode, I can just flip it on its side, because I do that sometimes. If sometimes you want to split screen something, and basically you have the same exact thing as the Pixel. You just put it on the side. It works pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Now, I'm sure there's tons of people out there. I've been watching a million reviews on this thing because I wanted to see if there's something I was missing, because I know a lot of people like this phone, and I completely understand it. It's a great phone. It's just not a phone for me. So if you did pick up the Pixel Fold, and you did have a Z Fold, and you didn't like it, and you can't figure out why, I can feel your pain here, because, yeah, gosh, I'm gonna be sad when I send this back tomorrow. But anyways, that's just some quick thoughts that I had why my Pixel's going back, and see you on the next one.